I'm going to tell you the number one secret to success when starting a tech business. Talk to your customers from the very beginning and never stop. In startup lingo, this is called customer discovery. And developers have an adjacent process called product discovery. In this video, we're going to break down the customer discovery process and share some tips along the way. Before we dive into the how, let's break down what customer discovery and product discovery are and why they are critical to building a tech product. Customer discovery is a process that should be done by any company and is where you gather valuable information from potential and current customers. The key is doing it in a way where they're not just telling you what you want to hear. Instead, they're telling you about the truth of their experiences. These are their challenges, the pain they experience, the solutions they've tried, the effort they put in, and where they're getting stuck. There is an art to how you're asking questions, and just as importantly, how you're listening. Product discovery is a process that development teams use to do the exact same thing. They will reach out to your target audience and validate their pain points in order to understand the goals of your business so they can help you develop a tech product. Pro tip, if you complete your own customer discovery and are able to relay that information to your development teams, it is likely you can skip this part, saving you thousands of dollars. Step one, you want to understand your market and customers. This is where you're defining who you're selling to and or who's using your product. A great exercise to do this is what we call developing a customer avatar. A customer avatar is a defined profile of your ideal customer. And one thing to note, you can have multiple customer avatars. You want to define them as a person, so some founders love to come up with fun names and personas. I'm going to show and go through some examples from our Founder Academy. Marla is the executive director of a nonprofit and believes positive things come from painful experiences. This profile explains her key characteristics, challenges, and pain points as it relates to the problem this company is solving. Anxious Amir lives in Austin, Texas. Many of his colleagues are being laid off, and he is stressed out that he's next. This profile displays how he likes to live in the moment, his key values, and changes he'd like to see. Our last example is Generous Jen, who loves to pay it forward. This profile shows her current profession, income range, defining characteristics, key pain points, and her goals and values. The characteristics you may choose may vary based on the type of person you're targeting. In defining your ideal customer through this exercise, you're preparing for step two. Go where your customers are. Once you nail down who you're targeting, you want to start getting into places where they are and observe how to best genuinely connect with your potential customers and really get to know who they are. You can do this both online and in person. Online, join Facebook and Reddit groups, follow Instagram communities, or get into the conversation forums and be active. Ask questions, provide your insight, and get to know people so you can build trust with them. In person, attend conferences, network at events where your customers hang out, and be social in your communities. The point in doing this is not only to observe, but to understand how you can get in front of these communities so that you can speak with them around their experiences with the problem you're looking to solve. Moving to step three, you're going to be using a survey as a filter. Now, this is where I start to veer away from some of the traditional models of customer discovery, and rather than use survey as a source of doing my entire customer discovery process, we instead use a survey to be able to filter out who you actually want to talk to. You've come up with your customer avatars. You've gone to places where they're hanging out. Now you want to identify of those potential targets, who do you actually want to continue to verify whether or not they experience the problem you're looking to solve. To put this survey together, you want to make sure that it's around 10 questions and you're not asking any open-ended questions. You really want to think about, what do I want to know about this person for me to make the decision of whether or not to continue to the next step? Our pro tip is by reserving the last question to ask if they would be interested in having an extended conversation with you for about 30 to 60 minutes. And then once you've filtered through your ideal customers and you've really defined who you'd like to speak with, you're going to move to step 4, which is scheduling interviews. I love helping founders make this process easier, so I highly recommend tools such as Calendly and Zoom to be able to have a smooth scheduling process and manage your calendar. Once you have your systems in place, you're going to start reaching out to those who took the survey, are open to talking to you, and fit your criteria. Before talking to them, you're going to want to create a list of open ended questions that are really testing your personal assumptions around how they're experiencing the problem you're solving. The open ended questions should allow for the interviewee to go into a little bit more detail so you can extract if they're experiencing the problem in the same way that you assume. It's all about testing your assumptions here while allowing them to speak about a subject that you're not leading them. There is no better way to tell you about how to non lead a conversation than a really great resource called the Mom Test that I'll link below. Essentially, you're not asking things like, is my idea good? Once you've completed several interviews, you're going to want to evaluate and analyze your data. We recommend creating a SWOT analysis. When you're putting together your SWOT analysis, you really want to look for patterns and identify them in the several buckets for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. If you'd like to get your hands on this template, I'll link it below. Step 6 is more ongoing, and it's repeating as you build and grow. You should never be done with customer discovery. You start before you build and launch anything, and you keep going until you're no longer working on the business. You want to use customer discovery anytime you're making major decisions such as new markets, new features, or even if you want to test pricing model. Customer discovery should always be your first step. Mastering the process of listening to your customers is critical and something you should be doing from here on out. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there and start talking to people. Remember, you're just there to learn about their experiences, not go into what the solution is, what your idea is, or how to solve it. No big deal, right? Now that you know the secret to building a successful business, make sure you watch our next video for a step-by-step process on how to get your business funded. Navigating the startup landscape can feel super overwhelming, which is why we purposely create content breaking things down as much as possible. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to be notified of more content built for women wanting to make money-making businesses and products customers love so that we can live life on our own terms. See you next time.